it's not necessarily a tariff coming from the minister, but it is a NERSA-approved tariff, which was approved already at the beginning of the year 2023. But President Cyril Ramaphosa then pleaded with Eskom not to immediately implement that tariff hike. What has changed now that would give this particular tariff leeway to be implemented?
Thank you very much for the IFP. Nothing has changed, absolutely nothing. I think I would like to redirect the narrative because that's very important to address the elephant in the room. We have talked about the issues of Eskom for so many times now, to an extent that it has become totally useless to repeat ourselves. And Eskom's problem requires nothing else but to remove the ANC that is at the helm, which is the cause of all the problems that we are facing as a country. The price increase since the load shedding is estimated at 446%, driving inflation up and costing business to thrive in South Africa. So the problem of Eskom is so much that the performance itself has declined, while on the other side, we are expected to pay so much money for the service that is already compromised. So as the IFP, we will reject that as we did in the past.
So Eskom came, and sure you were there in April last year, and they presented to you, and they said, in fact, that the 18% and the 12% combined with the debt relief package from the finance minister is a good combination that will set Eskom on a path of sustainability, financial sustainability, to the point that they may not need to borrow for the next 5 years. Were you not convinced by that presentation?
Not at all, and we shall never be convinced.
Why?
That has been the same story since ever. The IFP is on record telling people in South Africa that no financial resources can be able to help to solve Eskom's problems because their problems are non-financial. There you are talking about issues that relates to corruption, which is the rot that is engulfing Eskom, issues of maladministration, issues of mismanagement, and high political interference. Unless we deal with those real causes for Eskom to go down, no amount of money can be put to Eskom to help Eskom. Hence, I said in the beginning, you can't expect the same people who are the cause of our problems to come up with any solution. There shall never be a solution as long as the ANC is at the helm.
Yeah. Expert to tell you that Eskom has got a debt problem. They've got a high debt problem. Others were even suspecting that these tariff hikes that they went to ask at NERSA were actually to pay the debt more than it is really to run operations of the power utility.
You know, a simple example here is that if you've got a car that has a leak in the engine, it's leaking oil, it doesn't help you to stop in every filling station and buy oil and refill. You must deal with the cause of the problem. Hence, we are saying cause problems of Eskom are as a result of mismanagement, maladministration, political interference, corruption, which is the rot, and that is exactly what we need to deal with. Day in and day out, we are expected as people of this country to finance the debt, which shall, all these past years, so much money has been approved by Parliament, and then they will say that we are approving them in the pretext to say there will be some conditions which accompany those financial assistance. And regardless of those conditions, money will still go down the drain without solving problems of Eskom. Then come the next year, as Parliament will be expected to approve another big sums of money. So problems in Eskom are so simple. They don't need any financial resources, but they need to put in place a government that has a political will to solve them, to remove a party which is at the helm of this country, which has been said to have converted Eskom as a feeding trough for the ANC. We know that there are mafias that are there. There are people that are deliberately undermining this entity for their own gains. So unless we deal with that, then there is no problem. There is no point in putting so much money. There is no point in increasing tariffs, you can increase by 100%, 1,000%. That shall never change the problem of Eskom because they are non-financial, they are structural. And the corruption that is entrenched so much into Eskom. Revelations from the state capture are there. We know exactly what is happening. You've got staff members in Eskom who are willing to turn things around, but they can't because of political interference. It's as simple as that. We can try to be technical, it shall never help us. Practical steps needs to be actually taken, starting from this as opportunity that is availed itself to change the regime.
The Minister of Electricity might want to argue with us this evening and say, well, since he has taken over, he has increased the availability factor to 60% and plans to take it even higher by the end of this year.
But we still suffer load shedding. We're to see more of increased stages of load shedding. We can't actually focus in December. We all know that factories and big companies who are so much consuming were like on holidays. So it's only now that we are going to begin a lot of those load shedding because people are going back to work, will be more consumption. So the interventions that have been put in place have not been tested to give us that kind of confidence to say we are now at a place where we can be happy to say there is an improvement.
Yeah. So
you remember that when the minister took, yes.
So you are saying as the IFP at this point in time, you would not accept any tariff increases for Eskom, even if the tariffs are proven to be cost-reflective tariff that are needed for the sustainability of the utility.
We won't. Because you must also understand that there hasn't been any significant or any change for that matter in as far as our economic trajectory. Our people are still not working. They can't afford any amount of money, even if it's 5 cents that would be increased by, they still cannot afford. The very same infrastructure which is Eskom, which is aimed at being the very basic infrastructure for our economy to thrive, it's failing. Business are closing as we are speaking today. Some companies are forced to work short times because of the issue of load shedding. So there hasn't been any change that satisfies us as the IFP to say we can now say okay and give it a nod.
For somebody who's on the oversight side of things and has been watching the developments at Eskom, how has the halt of the tariff increases requested by the President affected the finances at Eskom? Has Eskom been able to cover its costs?
No. Even if Eskom does not cover its costs, you must understand one thing, that any cost associated with making a business, you must be able to first make a break even and then make a profit. In Eskom, there are so many leakages which needs to be actually closed. If you do not close those leakages, it's a similar case as I've said, that you will continue to stop in every filling station if you are driving a car that has a leaking engine. So for you to not have that kind of many stops where you have to buy fuel every now and then, you need to take your car to a garage to fix it and close those leakages. As I say, no amount of increases that will solve it because the leakages, the cause for these monies to be lost has not been addressed. Issues of maladministration, if they still persist in Eskom, you will never see a difference. If issues of corruption has never been dealt with, you will never see a difference. So all these interventions are never actually assisting us because they are not addressing the problem. You can give Eskom tomorrow 1 trillion, but 2 years down the line, they will come back and ask for more money because the leakages that are in the system has not been addressed. That is what the IFP says, that address the real problem, not like something like a reflect thing.
So the scheduled tariffs are being tabled now to Parliament, hopefully to be debated around March or so. And do you, of course, the way that things go, as far as Parliament is concerned, do you see this particular move by the minister as something that the ANC is going to push through anyway?
Of course, they've pushed through so many requests. They've pushed through everything using their majority undermining people of this country who entrusted them with actually leading and providing a direction that is taking the country forward. They have undermined that using their majority. They don't even care how much we contribute in committees because they know that they are the majority. Hence, I'm saying the first call to people of South Africa is that they must actually deal with the ANC at the helm. They must reduce it below 50% so that this arrogance from them does not persist, because that's what is costing us as a country. They will put this and it will go through as many pieces of legislation that we're opposed to, as many bailouts that we're opposed to, because they've got the majority, unfortunately.
Shenge, let's leave it there for tonight. Appreciate your time. Elphas Buthelezi, member of the Portfolio Committee on Public Enterprises.